Hey y'all, it's Jordan Trades back on another video, and today I'm going to show you guys how to catch a easy 40 to 100 pips on this setup that happens almost every Monday. Almost, at least I want to say like 80% of the time on Mondays, but y'all get the gist of it. So I'm not going to waste you guys' time too much. I'm going to just go ahead and go through the setup. We took it today and we caught us 40 points on this. And I'm gonna kind of go through this. This usually happens almost every Monday. Like I said, you just gotta look for it, and once you find the setup, it's usually there every time. Even if it's not there, then you don't trade it. So we're gonna go over that right quick, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. So basically, the most important thing you want to do is going into the New York session, especially on a Monday, is you want to look and see what happened during London session. A lot of the times people are so focused on what's only going on during the only during the AM session, especially when you're on the 1 minute time frame. It's really easy to get stuck and look only at this and not look at what's happening overall or what's the higher time frame setups. But even with this, you can see the setup happen from like the 1 minute to the 5 minute. So the first thing we want to do is really look at what's going on during London session, right? The biggest thing you want to know is this is really when it comes to profiles or market profiles. So the whole setup is basically the New York reversal or the New York Judas. When price does not manipulate during London session, you want to look at New York to manipulate, right? So you go through the night, and let's say you wake up in the morning around 9:30. You get on the charts around 9:30, and you see how like New York or London session didn't manipulate, right? No turtle soups, nothing really broke this structure here during that prime London session, right? Mainly 2 to 5 a.m. is what I'm looking at. Notice that nothing broke the structure. Nothing broke here. No turtle soups. This is not really a real turtle soup. I want to see price break through and then come back in. That's when you know price is manipulating. So the biggest thing is that once you know that price is not manipulated during London, that's when I'm starting to anticipate New York to manipulate one or the other as well, right? So when I'm going into the New York session and I see price made this high and this specific low, right? I'm going into the New York session expecting price to manipulate one or the other. And this is just some key sauce I'm gonna let you guys in on. You'll see manipulation happen either above or underneath the midnight open, right? That's the little bit of sauce. I'm gonna let y'all do your research and figure that out for yourselves, right? So me going into the New York session, I didn't want to trade the 9:30 because 9:30 usually gives us that manipulation, and we seen price was pushing above this London high that we made last night. So we wanted to wait until that key macro time, which is 9:50 to 10:10, to see if we had any specific setup around this this specific PD array or this specific liquidity, right? So we had price push up at 9:30. It gave us this big gap. Now, a lot of people who see fair value gaps think, okay, well, we'll just trade the fair value gap, and when it comes back in, look for buys. But that's not necessarily the case. And that's why I say you always want to pay attention on what's happening through the entire day or what's happening on a higher time frame. So we seen price came up and we pushed above this buy side liquidity, right? Now we're looking for a specific setup. So here you can either trade the break of structure, you could trade the breaker or anything that you see in between. For me, one thing that I do like a lot is breakers. We had high, low, higher high, lower low. So it was an easy breaker setup for me to take. You can even put it right here. You could even put it right here. Just based, it's personal preference on where you see the breaker at, honestly. Right? So had a nice little breaker right here. I waited for price to go below the breaker before I entered in. So the minute we were inside the macro, we took buy side liquidity, right? So when I see buy side liquidity, I'm looking to take sell side. I just really wanted to fill this gap. Um, I had a feeling price was going to come back down to these lows, but I was only looking for 40 points usually when I trade. So price came through, it broke the thing, broke broke the breaker, or make created the breaker, entered off of that. This fair value gap, this fair value gap was basically my confidence of staying into this trade, right? Especially when price doesn't break the consequent encroachment of that fair value gap, or basically the 50% of the fair value gap, as price never came back above the fair value gap. That made me confirm to stay in the trade. If you didn't want to trade straight off of the breaker, you could have waited for that fair value gap, seen how it was closing, or look what was going on between before it went down and then sold. And we just looked to take price basically at the end of this fair value gap that it created right here. So this stopped a lot of the buyers. A lot of people lost this morning because they were expecting price to continue on from this fair value gap, because we got this rejection, and a lot of people would have entered the minute that it made this engulfing candle. You would have lost. So this is a really easy setup to take. If you would have held it, basically from that fair value gap, you could have seen over 100 points. So if you were to hold it, let's say to these equal lows right here, looking at about 90 points, 369 ticks off of that one move. So this move, I like this move a lot. It happens on Mondays a lot of the times. And all you got to do is just get an eye for it. Once you start seeing, okay, 9:30 manipulates, and usually 10 o'clock, around that 10 o'clock time, you might see where price really wants to go. And just make sure that you're looking to see if that 9:30 is price actually manipulating into a key level, or is it actually just pushing up? Did 9:30 already give us our manipulation going lower, then pushing higher? So it really depends on that equity open too as well. But that's the most important part, is making sure that you're looking and seeing what happened during the London session before you push over to a new time. So, and it looks better. And even when you look at it like this, you can tell, like, okay, these lows are continue to be broken, but these highs aren't. These highs are sticking. The minute that we broke this high, but we didn't close above it, we just wicked above it, easy turtle soup, could have sold it, looked to take price lower. So this is an easy setup. This is the New York Judas reversal, or New York reversal model that I use on Mondays. Just look for this, man. Easy ways to set up confluence. Make sure that you're marking down your key levels, making sure you pay attention to what's happening during London session before you enter in anything in the market. Wait until you have a setup. You know, some people have different entry models. Use what you like. Don't just use what everyone else do. Do your back testing, study it, journal it, and see what you like to use. And then you can enter based off of that. You could have entered off of the breaker or the fair value gap. Some people caught it all the way up here, I know for sure. Some people that I know trade the same way caught it all the way up here. So it just literally goes to show, okay, it's personal preference. Where are you comfortable with? Make sure that you're using correct risk management when you're trading this. I think I'm done yapping because I need some water. But that's the most of this. This was my Monday model. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.